Welcome to the Aesthetic Doctor Podcast. We don't shy away and keep secrets here. We empower you with education, telling you the truth about all things aesthetic medicine while encouraging you to be the best version of yourself. It's time to look great and feel good doing it. This is your host, mom, speaker, and board-certified physician, Dr. Judith Borger.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Aesthetic Doctor Podcast. This is episode 95, and I am Dr. Judith Borger, your host. I am an aesthetic medicine expert and founder of Concierge Medical Arts in Fayetteville, North Carolina. As many of you know, I'm also a laser expert. I have taught workshops and given lectures throughout the US and Canada. So on today's episode, we are diving into one of my favorite treatments for the fall season, IPL, or intense pulse light. So really, today I'm going to tell you why IPL is the number one fall laser treatment and my number one fall laser treatment. And also I'm going to go into why the Nordlys IPL, which is the system that we have, stands out for me as one of the most advanced and effective treatments available. So whether you've been curious about IPL, wondering if it's right for you, or you're simply interested in learning more about devices, learning more about treatments, or how light and energy-based devices can actually reverse signs of sun damage, you are in the right place. So why is fall the perfect time for an IPL? So we're going to start with the basics. Why fall, right? Why do we say fall is laser season? Why do I say fall is IPL season? And I swear, like, everybody in my office is getting so excited to not only deliver IPLs, but get their own IPL, including me. After I spent a whole summer in Spain, and despite all the sunscreen, despite all the hats, despite all the things, I definitely did get a little bit of sun exposure. So why fall? IPL, or intense pulse light, is all about treating unwanted pigmentation in your skin. So if we think about pigmentation, it's the things that we can see, right? Those brown spots you might have after the summer, freckles that are more than normal, any of those are really signs of sun damage in your skin. Then IPL also treats redness and those little broken capillaries, vessels, as well as sort of the redness associated with rosacea. So after a summer full of sun exposure, and most of us in the Northern Hemisphere do get most of our sun exposure in the summer. So these issues tend to be at their peak, right? It's after a summer where we had fun at the beach, at the pool, on the golf course, watching our kids do their softball or baseball, barbecuing, or just living our lives, right? You then notice, like, ooh, you know what? These sunspots are coming out. I'm having a couple more extra broken capillaries, and those are all signs of sun damage. So let me be clear with that. That is your way, your skin's way of visually showing you that there's sun damage. And if we looked at you with some of our skin analysis systems, there would probably even more underlying sun damage that you can't even see, but maybe next time you are out in the sun after, you will see it. So after a summer full of sun exposure, these issues tend to be at their peak. And so that's really what IPL does. It helps undo that sun-induced damage and restore a more even, youthful complexion. It's that sort of glass skin. And so many times when I treat people with an IPL, they're just so amazed that they now don't have to wear makeup. They don't have to wear concealer. They don't have to wear foundation. I mean, of course you can if you want to, but so many people feel like, oh, I can't leave the house because I have these spots. And then they get an IPL and they're like, wow, I just wear this like light tinted moisturizer with the sunscreen in it, and I feel like I could go to the store and my makeup is a choice versus I have to cover all of this up. And I think that's also why IPL is one of our favorite treatments, is because you see the results, right? With a lot of the skin tightening, I love skin tightening devices, but it's a little bit like watching grass grow, right? IPL is amazing because you had these spots and we treat them and they're gone, and it's sort of that very nice visible before and after. Anyway, so why is fall the perfect time for IPL? The second reason is that IPL works best when the skin isn't tanned. And we will actually not do IPL on tan skin because the device targets pigment. So if you have a tan, that tan is extra pigment that the energy gets taken up in your body, increasing your risk for side effects and burns. And then the device, and we can't really see what's sun damage and what's baseline skin. And again, the pigment is what the laser energy targets. So if you have extra pigment in the form of a tan, you are at higher risk for burns or side effects. So fall is that sweet spot, right? Your tan has faded because we make people avoid any sun exposure for 2 weeks before we give them the treatment. I will absolutely not do an IPL in the middle of the summer. So your tan has faded, but your summer skin changes. So those age spots, those sunspots, those capillaries are fresh and ready to be treated. And of course, as a bonus, by starting in the fall, as soon as you can, after sort of it's cooled off, you're out of the sun, it's been a couple weeks since your vacation, you can set up your skin to glow beautifully for the holidays and the new year to get that even sort of glowing pigmentation and erase all of that summer skin damage. Because that's really what I think about when I think about an IPL, is the fact that we're erasing that summer skin damage that has been done. So how does IPL actually work? And let's talk a little bit of science here in a very digestible form. So IPL stands for intense pulse light. It's actually not a laser in the traditional sense. It's what we call an energy-based device. It's a broad spectrum light that we filter and calibrate to target specific chromophores in the skin. And chromophores really means sort of pigment, right? So that means that we selectively can treat brown pigment like freckles and sunspots, as well as red pigment like broken capillaries and rosacea. So here's kind of what happens scientifically in a very basic way. The light penetrates the skin from the device, and then it gets absorbed by the pigment or the blood vessels. So that energy that through the device we put in your skin heats and destroys the target lesions. So it heats and destroys those brown spots, those capillary, that red spots, while leaving the surrounding skin intact. See what I'm saying? So that's why the more of a tan you have, the more of a risk you have of having uptake into tissues that you don't want, because we destroy the target while leaving the surrounding skin intact. So over the following days, those brown spots will darken, they will slough off, redness fades, and your skin tone looks more even and luminous. And as an actual bonus, IPL stimulates collagen with your skin. And if you know anything or have followed this podcast, if you haven't, I have a bunch of episodes on collagen. You are not just treating pigmentation with an IPL, you're actually rejuvenating the skin from within. So that's pretty amazing, right? Not only do you get to treat all of the visible pigment, and you know what happens a lot when people do their IPL, they will be like, oh my God, it pulled so many more brown spots that I didn't even know that I had. And then they all flake off and only the beautiful skin remains. And underneath, as an extra bonus, you get some collagen. Now, not all IPLs are created equal. So this is where the device that we have, the Nordlys IPL, really shines. And of course, this is like a pun intended. The Nordlys system that we have by Candela uses something called selective waveband technology, which essentially filters out unnecessary wavelengths of light. Now, why is that important? Because when we think about putting energy in your skin by being very selective of what wavelengths we use, we can deliver energy precisely to the pigment or vessel we want to target, aka if we select for the wavelength that brown is, we can target exactly brown. If we select for the wavelength that red is, we can exactly target red without wasting heat on surrounding tissues, which basically means that you get a more effective targeted treatment because there's a max of energy we can safely put into your skin. The result is more effective treatments with fewer risks or side effects like burns or hyperpigmentation, because again, there's a set sort of amount of energy we're going to put in your face, your body. You can really IPL anything. And by selecting the correct wavelength, we only use that energy to get the max result by destroying that pigment without putting all this other unnecessary energy in your tissues, which would increase your risks of burns or hyperpigmentation. It's also more comfortable for patients because the energy that we put in is being used efficiently rather than scattered. So many of my patients are surprised at how well they tolerate the procedure compared to other devices they've tried, and how they might have gone to other places where there's other IPLs or older IPLs where there are certain spots that they couldn't treat and we can destroy them all. Now, the results that we have speak for themselves. Nordlys IPL is highly customizable. We have a whole host of hand pieces, and for us, hand pieces really means selecting a specific wavelength to customize your treatment. And so we can treat everything from subtle redness and rosacea to really stubborn age spots. It's a very versatile, precise, and safe treatment across more skin types compared to like older IPL technology where like really undifferentiated light was shot into your face. Now, what do patients love about IPL, and what can you expect if you want an IPL treatment? First of all, IPL really does require a consultation because even though it's amazing, it is only safe for certain skin types. So unfortunately, we cannot treat every skin type with an IPL, but for those other skin types, we do have chemical peels, we have Tixels, we have other things. So let's get back to the Nordlys. So first of all, it's a non-invasive treatment, right? There's no needles, there's no downtime. And afterwards, even if the reds might be a little bit more prominent, the browns might be a little bit more prominent, you can cover it up. We're not really actually breaking your skin. Treatments are pretty quick. It takes normally longer to numb you. And then the actual treatment is about 20 to 30 minutes. And it's what's considered a lunchtime procedure. So you can go back to work afterwards, right? You can, after you're done with your procedure, we wash off the gel, and then you can literally put your regular face stuff on and go back to work. And then the other thing why people really love it is even though most of the time we take the pigment off in layers and most people need a series of 3 to 4 sessions for optimal results, you start seeing improvements after every treatment. So, you can see that those brown spots are sloughing off. You can see that those capillaries are destroyed. You can see that the redness fades. And of course, we love seeing results. And the glow factor is super duper real. So my patients often tell me that people comment on how refreshed they look, how rested they look, without knowing they've had anything done, because IPL is really about restoring your skin's natural radiance, and it doesn't alter the way you look. It literally just erases sun damage and gives you that even glass skin that we all want. So to wrap things up, Fall is absolutely the best time to start your IPL journey. And with the Nordlys IPL available in our office, you're getting one of the safest, most effective, and most comfortable treatments available today. If evening out your complexion, tackling sun damage, or boosting your glow are on your fall to-do list, IPL is the perfect place to start. It's a must-have, I think, if you live anywhere where you're getting sun. And I live in North Carolina. Everybody gets sun. Everybody needs an IPL. And again, you can see the results. Most people want beautiful skin, right? And IPL gives you beautiful, even skin. And so an IPL, it's one of the most favorite procedures in my office. And I'm definitely getting IPLs this fall after my summer adventures. So thank you for joining me today on the Aesthetic Doctor podcast, where I hope I told you why IPL is our #1 fall treatment. If you found this episode helpful, don't forget to subscribe and share it with a friend who might be interested in rejuvenating their skin this season, or just following the podcast to learn more about aesthetic procedures and life coaching topics on how to really lead your most beautiful, radiant life. And if you're local, if you're in North Carolina, or if you travel to North Carolina, I would love to invite you to come into my practice, Concierge Medical Arts, to experience the Nordlys IPL firsthand. So with that being said, Nordlys IPL and IPL in general is my #1 fall laser treatment. It's our #1 fall laser treatment, and I am just so excited that we're erasing all that summer sun damage and we're creating glowing, beautiful skin.
Thank you for listening to the Aesthetic Doctor podcast with Dr. Judith Borger. We'd love to connect with you outside of the show. Follow Dr. Borger on Instagram at Dr. Borger, and find more online and ways to work with Dr. Borger at www.theaestheticdoctor.com. Until next time, be well.